Oh, there she is. So, I'm gonna need this. So today I'm gonna go out and I'm going to scout for some camping locations in this area because over the winter, desert camping is what I'm gonna need to be looking into doing. And so I figured while I was out here screwing around, I'd go over these questions that Everride brought up. So a college student has contacted Tyler from the Everride channel and asked to interview him. And so Tyler made a video where he covered all the kids' questions. He kind of posed the same questions to everybody else on YouTube who's in this community. So I thought I would take a jab with my opinions because I've only been doing this for a year. Anybody with any experience, they know I don't know what I'm doing. So I thought maybe this would be a unique perspective. First question is, when did adventure motorcycling initially catch your eye? What was the reason for why it initially did catch your eye? Basically, motorcycling itself had already caught my eye. I also had an interest in hiking and camping because I like to explore the outdoors. So when I moved out here to this state, I knew that there was a lot of territory that I could go out and explore, and combining motorcycling and exploring wildernesses was kind of a natural progression then. So I kind of just traded my sport bike for this, and I've been screwing around in the desert ever since. I didn't get into it specifically because I like the idea of riding a motorcycle in the wilderness. In fact, I've been overwhelmed on almost every trip I've taken, but I might touch on that later. Second question is, why do you ride? What feelings does it bring to you personally? Well, it feels good. You know, I think that's the reason why all of us do this, because it really feels good. The exposure to the elements is something that adds a whole lot to the experience. When you're in a car, you don't have that exposure. You know, on this, you have to concentrate on the road where you're going. There's no radio, there's no windscreen. It's a humbling and very fulfilling experience every single time you do it. And that's why a lot of guys, I think, come out and they say it's their therapy, because you go out and you're alone in your own mind, and it's a great thing to experience, and all of us are addicted to it. So the next question is, what qualifies a ride as an adventure? Basically, if you take anything that would have otherwise been an adventure and throw a motorcycle at it, you could call that adventure riding. I think that's the truth. I mean, lots of guys who are purists, you know, you gotta have a certain bike, you gotta go to certain places, there has to be a certain element of danger, and I don't really think that's true. Basically, an adventure is any journey you take where you're putting yourself in harm's way at some level, you know, where something could go wrong. And so the reason they call this adventure motorcycling, I mean, not what I'm doing today, I'm just riding on some dirt road, is because you go out to some pretty remote places, and if something goes wrong, it could go really, really wrong. So that qualifies as an adventure, and because you've done it on a motorcycle, you could say that you're adventure motorcycling. However, in my opinion, you could do this shit on a scooter, you could do it on the road. If you pack a bag on a motorcycle and set out to spend a month on the road, that's also an adventure. I think the community doesn't view it that way, but this entire experience is subjective to whatever you want it to be. Next question is, what are your thoughts on lightweight adventure motorcycles like DRZ, for example, versus heavier, more traditional adventure bikes? So are these bikes situational? Is there a right or wrong answer to whatever you choose to ride? It doesn't matter, dude. As long as you're on a motorcycle and you're doing something that would otherwise qualify as an adventure, you're doing it. But I do believe that the bike you choose is situational. A lot of guys, like what Everride said, a lot of guys love the challenge of taking a big bike where a big bike doesn't really belong. And some guys hate that. And I am in the boat of the guys who hate that, because this is a pretty big bike. But as far as adventure motorcycling goes, and as far as dual sports go, this is middle ground, really. But this is pretty freaking heavy, man. I've been on some trails that really destroy me physically, and this motorcycle is too much to handle. And you could say it's because of my inexperience, but like, if you drop this thing, like you could hurt yourself picking it up. And so I do believe that which bike you choose is important, because if I had a BMW GS, what I'm riding on right now would be the absolute most aggressive off-road that I would be willing to do. I would never take anything like that on anything rockier or narrower or sketchier than this. What I've got now, like, it'll do this stuff, it'll do the highway, and it won't do the highway that well, and it won't do technical, tight, rocky stuff that well either. And in those cases, you would want a littler bike, but if you have a littler bike, it's not going to do the highway very well. So like, you have to pick something that's appropriate for exactly what you plan on doing, unless you're just a glutton for punishment. And I don't really get those guys that ride those big ass motorcycles into some gnarly places. I think you're setting yourself up for some fucking injuries, dude. But that's just me. That's just me. Fifth question. What are some dangers that can come with adventure riding? Dangers? No, I mean, if we're honest, it's the same. Like, if you're on the road, I think your primary danger on the road is other cars. You could get hit by other cars. Out here, your primary dangers are going to be things that, I don't like saying it this way, but they're going to be things that are your fault. You know, if you're going around a corner and you hit a rock because you didn't see it or you didn't know how to maneuver around it, you can go down, you can get hurt. When you're adventure riding the way that people typically do when you come out to places that are remote and off-road, your dangers become the terrain, they become the environment, they become the sun. I think a lot of people love the sun. They don't realize how powerful it is. You know, you live in a place like this for a year and you'll respect it. And so really it's just things like that. It's the elements. The elements become your greatest dangers, I think. I'm including terrain, and it's also breakdowns. You know, you gotta feel confident with your ability to fix your bike if something happens, and that's something I struggle with the most because I don't know what's gonna happen. If I come out and something goes wrong, what the f is gonna go wrong? I mean, I figure flat tires is your biggest issue, and that's the hardest thing for me to fix. There's a good camp spot. Next question, what are your thoughts on the demographic? Typically they're older folks, and I think that's true. I don't meet a lot of people who do this because I don't really get out and make friends because I'm always out making a video like this, you know, and it's hard for me to make videos in a group because you gotta do what the group wants to do, and so if I need to ride longer, it's annoying. It is true that adventure motorcycling is kind of a midlife crisis thing. I'm not sure why that is. It seems to be quite physically demanding and something that an older gentleman shouldn't be doing. Unless he's in shape. Whatever. I don't really care. I really don't care. The guy that I've ridden with the most out here, he's in his 40s. And he was an outstanding motorcyclist. He had so much confidence off-road, I could never match him. It kind of scared me to ride with him, honestly. Here's a good camp spot. I think they're all going to be taken, though. I'm not camping today. I'm just looking for a place to camp in the future. So yeah, I mean, it's the way it is. It kind of seems silly. Most of these guys are older, and actually, the ones I've met, I feel like it makes it harder for me to relate because I get it. We're all humans. We're all adults. We can talk. We can hang out. But like, there's something to be said about hanging out with people your own age. They really did a number on this road. Like, this is way nicer quality than it was last time I was here. It was pretty bad. It was all gravelly and rocky, and like, this is smooth, man. I think that's where I wanted to go. Mostly just check out the terrain, see if it's something my pussy ass can handle. I think that guy's hunting though. I don't really want to disturb him. Well, that sucks. Mission failed in this area. Next question is, would you ever consider going on a cross-continental adventure tour if funding wasn't an issue? Yeah, dude, all of us would. I think everybody who's into dual sport riding and adventure riding, we're all into this. I think everybody who's into dual sport riding and adventure riding, we would all do that. If we had a month or something free and money wasn't an issue, we would pack our bags and go tomorrow. Like, that's kind of like the ultimate goal, I think. And it's something I plan on doing. Jesus Christ, just take a minute to look at that. It is so beautiful. Man, I haven't been out here in a long time. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I don't know, I got this idea, and I want to spend 30 days solo riding around the Pacific Northwest, going east across the top states of the United States, and possibly making it over to the East Coast, and kind of just touring the true backcountry of the United States. I want to do it solo so I can film it the way I want to film it. Also, as sort of an experiment to see how I fare mentally on an adventure like that. And the idea would be that as much as possible, there's no hotels. I would just camp in free camping spaces whenever possible, and if one of them ends up not working out, then I would attempt to stealth camp by leaving my bike somewhere safe and then hiking into a place where no one can see me. You know, do something like that. And I want to document it. I want to film it on a daily basis with something very high quality and make a little series out of it. But I don't know when that's going to happen. What's up?
Are you with the Boy Scouts?
No.
No? Have you know anything of that? Have you seen anybody in Boy Scouts camping at all?
Up the road, there's some people camping, but
I saw them too on my way in. It didn't look like I'm just gonna get out of here. I just wanted to know if you might have been someone.
No. Anyway, so yeah, that's something I'd like to do, but I mean, I'm just over the next year or two, I'm going to just try to collect the essential gear. And I think that's the next question. I'm not going to stop and check because I'm pretty sure it is. What are the essential costs of getting into adventure motorcycling? And, well, obviously, you got to get a bike. Like, if you go and get a KLR, that's probably one of the best bikes you can have, the best dual sport you can have for road use, I think, as far as price goes and comfort goes. I don't like the way they look, and I will never own one, but, you know. And then this, the XR650L, I think is the next best choice. You can get these for like $3,500, get the KLRs for the same price. The next challenge, though, is making it do what you need it to do. And what I mean by that is, like, you're probably going to need a luggage rack if you want to do any kind of adventure riding. You're going to need luggage capacity. You're going to probably need to lower the bike. If you're of average height, the XR650L is gigantic. There's no wind protection, so you're probably going to have to get a windscreen. Did that guy just drive past this? I think that guy was looking for a Boy Scout camp, because he was looking for a Boy Scout camp, but I think this might be the Boy Scout camp. Huh. But yeah, you're gonna need a windscreen, and then if you have a KLR, those come with a pretty decent sized gas tank, so that's not really an issue. But if you get the XR650L, you got to replace the gas tank because that thing is it's tiny. So I mean, the essential costs really depend on what you're gonna do with it. Like technically, you could buy a stock XR650L and go adventure ride all you want, but you have to personalize it at some point to get, because like you're gonna ride it and you're gonna be like, oh, I want a little more out of this. You know, I need more range, I need more comfort, I need more luggage capacity. You know, there's a lot that go into it. And then if you're into performance, then you're gonna have to, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. But I mean, they basically, it's like, I've never seen any stock product that comes off the assembly line as such a blank canvas. To get these things where they need to be, you have to spend money to outfit them. And a lot of that outfitting has to do with specifically what you want to do. Like tires is another big one. Like I just bought these 50/50 tires because I do a ton of on-road riding. Like I have to. I can't go to these places I want to go to without doing a ton of miles on pavement, and you know, Dunlop 606s are not good for that. I ate those things up in 3,000 miles. Again, it's kind of subjective on what you plan on doing. The low end, like the most basic setup you could have, could cost you $3,500 or even less. But I didn't even mention gear. I guess I'm assuming you already ride motorcycles, so you have a helmet and boots and shit. But like you have to have a helmet, you have to have boots, and you have to have gloves. Those are absolutely, without a doubt, essential. And I like the Fox Titan padded vest. I wear that every time I go out. I've actually fallen on it too. It's extremely effective. Extremely effective. That's that. I thought there were more campsites out here. If there was one key destination or route that you think most adventure riders should ride or go to, what do you think it would be? Utah in the United States, I would have to say anywhere in the Southwest. Like this is some pretty outstanding scenery here, and like what I've just looked at today, I almost feel like I'm taking it for granted because this territory is so vast. There is no specific route, and I guess I don't have a specific route because I've only seen Arizona and I haven't done any longer trips. But like from what I see and what I've experienced, hit up one of the backcountry discovery routes. That's what you should do. Look up. Here's a good spot. If you want to go look up, might be called backcountrydiscoveryroutes.com, I don't know, but if you Google it, you'll find it. And all of the southwest and western states in the United States have a specific off-road network of roads that somebody professional has put together, and you can download the GPS coordinates, and you can basically drive from the bottom of a state to the top of a state entirely off-road, and it's probably one of the best ways to experience the backcountry of any given place that you go to. I've never done one. The Arizona one, not had a chance to do. I need people for sure. You can't go do that alone. It's too dangerous. Last question. Is adventure motorcycling progressing and moving forward? Or do you think we are staying stagnant or even digressing? Well, since I'm not really that active in the community of people in real life, I don't really know. But in the Southwest and the Western states, it's big because there's so much territory to do it in, and that's what I see the most of. But I mean, I've done some rides out here where like I see nothing but side-by-sides. Tyler brought that up, and it hadn't even really occurred to me, but those things are going to take over this industry, because the guy who otherwise would have bought a motorcycle and learned how to ride is going to just go buy one of those, you know, because you can throw your kids in it, throw your wife in it, and you can go off-road. It's street legal, at least out here it's street legal. You can drive those things from the road. I don't want to say it's a better solution to go on an adventure in the wilderness, but that's definitely going to steal a big chunk of the dual sport market, if it hasn't already. I don't think dual sport riding is digressing, really, but I think the guys who are really going to get into this are the guys who already have been riding their whole life, and they want to switch it up. The guys who want to see some action, who have already been on a motorcycle. But yeah, I guess that's my opinion on that question. Have you guys ridden up that? I wouldn't be fine.
Where you headed?
I'm just riding around out here, and I'm probably gonna turn back actually. So, all right, have fun, guys. If I can get my bike to run. Are you fucking kidding me? This thing's not turning over. Is it on?
Your light dimmed out.
I think my battery just died, dude. All right, I was having issues this morning, but I thought it would. They knew it was that bad. Well, my battery's dead.